because point is a vector 3. It's that endpoint. Super cool. So yeah, seg, where you're clicking, and you can make sliders with that. Additionally, if you want to create 2D controls for buttons, you also have the ability to create a screen space. And this is a two-dimensional space that lives over your current space. Sorry, let me redo that. I would create a new screen layer, rather, which is better. So on this screen space that I'm viewing into, called screen space 2, you'll see that my tools have kind of changed. And if I put an object in here, I have two-dimensional things. I have a box, and the same concept of seg and endpoint and whatnot works on these as well. So you could create a two-dimensional object, and you'll notice that if I, for example, just so you know that that's a two-dimensional thing, let me click back on terrain space, and you can see this. You see this like piece of interface coming with me. The BPM controls are basically done that way, and so this thing can work as a slider as well. So if you're in terrain space. Sorry, if you go to the screen space, I have now what's called a plane entity, and I can add interactable to that object. I can create on pressing, and if I come back to terrain space, let's go to terrain space, edit this code. So I'm toggling between the screen space in this viewport, which is this overlay layer, and this default camera. This gives me access to the 3D world. And I'm editing the code on my object, just the stuff inside. And these should work in such a way where now you know, my camera can basically be anywhere. Maybe I'm incorrect. Because it lives in a different space. For another lesson, let's see here. We'll dig into this in another lesson, but I believe sometimes when you're cutting and pasting, you have to re-look at some stuff. Let me see here. Oh, yeah, duh. This code here where I set it up to move this box entity, I can't move that box entity to the point. The point on this screen space is not an acceptable point for is not an acceptable. It can't. This box can't move out of the 3D world and onto the 2D, into the 2D screen. And I think we have, so you can see that I crossed the 0 mark. So you would need to do some different math because this object in the screen space is almost entirely, its Y is almost entirely in the 0. But yeah, so that's the idea. So you can tinker around with that, adding a screen layer, which gives you just like the same as like a box. You create an interactability object on it, and you can press those, and they'll go anywhere. They'll fly along with this camera. Anywhere this viewport is going, the screen layer lives with it. You can also create a similar thing using an overlay viewport with a screen layer on that, which lives on top of all the other viewports, like real global controls. And we'll do some more stuff on that at a later